Well, after spending 3 weeks abroad, unfortunately, not great news in the patch. I think the moral of the story is you can't leave for 3 weeks and expect to break your personal best. This plant over here actually looks decent. A little bit of unusual coloring in the newer leaves, but the pumpkin is just frozen in time. Really no idea why. I've cut out a lot of the old leaves, but doesn't look terrible plant-wise, not great, but the pumpkin is just stopped, and it's about 130 pounds, something like that, and just has not grown at all. This pumpkin, same story. It marched right up to the 500-pound mark and then just froze. This plant is not in as good a health. It's also not as big. I had somebody help take care of the plants while I was away, and there's a little bit of a miscommunication. So a lot of these secondaries that were supposed to grow out to the wall and be cut or terminated were terminated prematurely. You can see the same thing on this side, same thing over there. So we do have some pretty big gaps in the overall space, which doesn't help. But I don't think that's the whole story. There's something else going on. This pumpkin in particular also has a little bit of discoloration here. Not familiar with that, haven't had that in the past, but it doesn't look like something you'd expect to see. You can tell the pumpkin isn't growing also just by the color and shape. It's almost looking sunken, if you will, kind of like they do when they abort when they're younger. So we'll just keep going, but I don't think we're gonna be really anywhere where we would want to be. But some lessons learned, and honestly, you really just can't be away that long and expect to grow a big one. A few days later, and still no growth, and kind of discoloration has continued. It's not soft. Actually looks more extreme in the camera than it does in person, but a little bit of discoloration on the stem, but again, not soft. And I also noticed some interesting stuff on some of the early secondaries. I'll show you. So one interesting thing I saw here, the main stump is really actually healthy and solid, but at each node, see if I can find a good spot here. At each node, there's this like large, where the root would be, it's like almost what I would describe as like a fungus that has grown as part of the pumpkin. Here's another example. And it's really pretty big and solid. And they all have it, all the nodes. So I sort of unburied a few of them. And like I said, they're solid to the touch. But where the roots are, so they've like grown and then the roots that were growing out all seem to be gone, like rotted. And if I go next level of secondaries, it kind of looks normal. I don't see the growth, so it seems like mostly it's the first two secondaries that have this. And I haven't seen it on the other pumpkin plant. The other pumpkin plant, again, continues to look okay for this time of the year, but zero growth in the pumpkin. Well, we gave the pumpkin another week, and unfortunately, it's finally done. We aren't growing at all And then we started to get some soft spots down there, which is more or less what I was expecting. And a little bit of soft stuff here. So I don't even think this one makes it as a porch pumpkin, unfortunately. So from here, it's just gonna break down the patch. I'm just basically gonna start cutting out secondaries, inspecting things as we go, and get the patch ready to overwinter. Another look at just how big these nodules are. Huge. And there are all of these nodes. And even in spots where the leaf got in contact with the ground, it created that Alright, the 2356 booth plant has been cleared, unfortunately. And there it is. It's gone. So this one gets drug out into the field, I think, if we make it that far, for the donkey. He'll like it. This takes the cake as the most interesting thing. So this is one of the little tendrils, and then this tendril turned into this monstrosity that it's got about 20 pumpkins trying to grow on it. This is like a last-ditch effort for the plant to produce viable seeds, given that the rest of the plant and the existing pumpkin are dying. Never seen a tendril turn into a plant and that many pumpkins.